deliver this pioneering project. So what are we providing? Let's get to the crux of it. Live stream of NPFL games for next season on your own OTT platform, via your mobile devices and laptops, called NPFL Live. NPFL Live, powered by GTI and Prepare. The tech. So we've instructed and engaged Pixels, and a Middle Eastern company, and IT Africa. They are the world's leading AI technology companies. First time in Africa to do this. First time in the world that I've quite rightly pointed to do this. It is really a watershed moment in Nigerian sport. We are only the catalyst for progress.
Elected TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen.
At first, it looked as if it was impossible. But given God factor, every day it became so clear, getting clearer. 9 out of every 10 said,
Bayo.
What are you talking about?
Bayo.
So the lesson is, it is possible.
It is possible.
This is radio like you never heard before.
Akupa!
TV radio.
Michael
The pathfinder for radio.
Akupa Musa is here. Let's get this show on the road, man. All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. Feels like I don't know how to do the show anymore. I've been away for a while. I went to do the Super Seas, and then after the Super Seas, I went to Abuja, Niger State, Nasarawa. Went to go and climb mountain. I hope you guys saw the video, Sha. I went to go and climb rocks. It was fun anyway. It was good for my heart, my lungs, and everything. It was good. But it was fun. There was scary moments where I almost slipped off. But thank God we succeeded with that. Yeah, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafe Mathias. You're going to call me the Elegbete One of Sports. Yes, I have a very big question on the show today, and it's about Aurelio Tchouameni, Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham. Have Real Madrid finally created a midfield trio that will surpass Anthony Kroos, Casemiro, what's it called now? Luka Modric, or probably they've created their own Xavi, Iniesta, and Sergio Busquet. Yes, what do you think it to? Do you think it was Toni Kroos, Casemiro, and Luka Modric, or you think it was this is the new generation of Iniesta, Xavi, and Sergio Busquet? Yes, with the signing of Jude Bellingham, they now have a midfield trio that is very young, that could run for the next 10 years, bearing injury or anything. And few people have already started saying that midfield is the answer to FC Barcelona's trio of Xavi, Iniesta, and Sergio Busquet, who just happened to retire last season. Yes, who left the club, and we don't know where it's going to be playing this season, but it's gone on after 15 years of playing top-flight football with FC Barcelona. That said, some people say no, it's not comparison to that squad. Rather, it's Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and Casemiro. Where do you think your squad on this one? Nigeria booked its place in the next African Cup of Nations by first time taking a 2-goal lead, courtesy 19th minute and 32nd minute double by Victor Osimhen. But Sierra Leone, as always, would never bow down when they play against Nigeria. They've come from 4 goals down before to draw 4-4, and it felt like they have gotten a 2-2 draw last night in Liberia, but somehow, yes, the combination of Zaidu Sanusi on the left-hand side, dribbling his way through, putting it on the plate perfectly for Kelechi Iheanacho, who came in as a second half sub, changed the game. Some people said that the introduction of Kevin Akpoguma was the problem. I think I saw enough in the goalkeeper Adeleye anyway to be excited. That's okay if he can put up that performance consistent. I don't think that there is anything I can blame him for the 2 goals he considered. I thought the first goal, the midfield and the defense went to sleep. And then the second goal, the equalizer that made it 2-2 by that jersey number 7. I've forgotten his name now, but I know Mustafa Bundu scored the first one to make it 2-1. I think that second goal is a belter that anybody should be happy and excited about. Not every goal you blame a goalkeeper or you blame somebody. It's just one goal that showed tenacity and dexterity on the part of the Sierra Leonean player. But whatever it is, I would like to hear your take on this. And Ghana and Madagascar ended goalless. South Africa played and won against the best African team at the last World Cup, Morocco, 2-1. I think that the first goal that South Africa scored, both goals that South Africa scored, the goalkeeper should be blamed. But whatever it is football. Yesterday's form, they say, cannot save you today. That's one of the things that I've come to learn in football. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed and keep pushing and keep rolling. Okay, that's the way it is as it is right now. And transfer market is hustling up. Okay, the other day I did a video talking about Arsenal's interest, high-level interest in a player called Kai Havertz. Okay, used to play for Bayer Leverkusen and scored the Champions League winning goal in 2021 for Chelsea and plays for Chelsea right now. And some people, sometimes if you want to market a player, just market the player. But then when you come up with all these, similar to Dennis Beckham, how dare you? Come on. Nobody is similar to Dennis Beckham. There is only one Dennis Beckham, and that's it. And it's like one person crosses a ball and then you say he's similar to David Beckham. No. There's no similarity. But hey, I don't care what anybody says. I just want to know from you guys: is Kai Havertz the upgrade that Arsenal needs right now? Is last season they lost the title because Man City was too good, and they showed it at the end as they won the treble. Okay, I wasn't one of those who believed that Arsenal was going to win the title anyway. I was one, I kept warning people like Akbos Baba and a few other. Now this Arsenal team is not going to win the title. It's obvious. It's very, very clear, right? But at the end of the day, when we saw Man City win the treble, we finally agreed that Arsenal was not in the races anymore. They were just a spot holder. But if Arsenal is going to compete, okay, so look at it from this angle. First 2 seasons of Arteta, the first one was just 6 months, so you're not even going to count out. But first 2 seasons ended in 8th position, just like Jurgen Klopp. First season ended in 8th position. Then the 3rd season or the 2.5 season, it ended in 5th position, and last season it ended in 2nd position. Now everybody is saying the next thing is to go win the title. It's not that easy, okay? Title is not a given. It's something you fight for over the course of 38 games. Amass more points, score goals, and all that. I know that a team have scored 36 goals to win the league title before. AC Milan, yes, scored 36 goals to win the league title in Italy before, but that's on the strength of an incredible defense put together by the Don himself, Fabio Capello. So I'm not going to sit here and put up all those conversations. I just want to know from you guys, is Kai Havertz the upgrade that Arsenal need to go to the next level? And I hear that Arsenal would listen to pitch anybody who wants to put up a purchase deck for what are they called? What's that guy's name? Partey, the Ghanaian guy, Thomas Partey. Yeah, Thomas Partey, and the party is not partying anymore. The DJ is not playing music, so the party is gone. What do you think? Is that a good move to let him go? Arsenal is still looking to get in Declan Rice. Moise Caicedo that everybody thought Arsenal would get is now obviously going to go to Chelsea, and there's a whole lot of talk here and there. I don't know who's going to come anyway. The way I always say to myself is, until the player is holding up that jersey and they're making a presentation, everything you talk about is rubbish. Everybody thought that Mikhailo Modric was an Arsenal player. It was a foregone conclusion. We know how it ended, but thank God Arsenal missed out on that one, because that was an atomic bomb that Arsenal escaped. They would have just bought rotten tomatoes, rotten fish, and they can't cook with it. But thank God he went to Chelsea, the hijackers. Sometimes when you like to steal, and so you go snatch a shit to a person back for his house approved to send that money today. That's exactly what happened with that. But that's not my focus. I'm looking at the players in Madrid. Do you think that the 3 of Jude Bellingham, what's it called now? The trio of Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, and what's the name of the other guy? Aurelio Tchouameni. Okay, these 3 combined, do you think that they are the direct replacement for Luka Modric and Toni Kroos and Casemiro, who's gone, to Manchester United to help them get stability. Probably they are a bit of an advanced level, and as some people have now said that they are the new Xavi, Iniesta, and Sergio Busquet. What side do you stay on? Victor Osimhen, 26 or 27 goals with 17 games with 17 goals, chasing the 37 goals scored by Rashidi Yakini. It's just 10 goals away, and he's still in his mid-20s. That's going to happen pretty soon at this rate where he scores a goal every 2 games or 1.5 goals every 2 games. That's going to happen pretty soon if we keep playing games and we keep inviting him and he stays away from injury. But the question is, where does Victor Osimhen play next? Napoli is being disassembled. He's been disassembled now. They've got Rudy Garcia as their new coach, but the coach that won them the league title. Not too many times you see a coach win a title and just leave a club. I don't understand what happened. And the club did not even make any effort, no push to say, oh, you have to stay, you can't go. They just, if you want to go, no problem. I don't understand that anyway, but hey, it's that thing. They choose whatever they want to choose. They do whatever they want to do, whichever way they want to. They want the cookies to crumble. Let's go with it. But having said that, I need to hear your take on any footballing topic. Yes, we'll stay in football. I know that there's a lot of cricket and golf. What's it called? Rory McIlroy missed out on winning this weekend, and then there was the umpire striking back in cricket and a whole lot. But we're not going to talk about all that. We'll talk about qualifiers. Spain have now fully gone full circle. They've won the World Cup, they've won the Euros twice, and then they've won the Nations League. So they've gone full circle. There is nothing that Spain needs to win again. Anything they win again as a national team is a repeat. Either they are going to win the Euros a third time, they're going to win the World Cup a second time, they're going to win the Nations League a second time, but they've won everything. They've gone full circle. Maybe it's the finalissimo that they will need to win eventually, but I don't know when that one would happen. Or Afro Euro, maybe they'll create a tournament called Afro Euro, the winners of the African Nations Cup versus the winners of the Euros Nations League or the African or the Euros Championship. Whatever it is, I don't know, but because I've been away for a very long time, I'm not going to bore you guys with too much. Let me just take you through the transfer speculations, and then I will read up all your messages on Instagram and on YouTube. Yes, let's get to somebody send me a message and say, where is Jude Bellingham playing next? Honestly speaking, I don't know. Joanne, I don't know. Okay, I'm supposed to see him tomorrow or this week. I don't know. We've not fixed a time for it. But we will see how it goes. Okay, let's look at some of the transfer gist that is going on. Arsenal are willing to sell Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey 30 this summer as part of an overhaul of the midfield. They should do that very fast. Chelsea will step up its stock for Ecuadorian midfielder Moises Caicedo after a 60 million pounds offer was rejected by Brighton, who are seeking more than 80 million pounds for the 21-year-old. I don't know why Arsenal is not going for him. Chelsea's Kai Havertz, 24, is set to seal a move to Arsenal, with Bayern Munich having let their approach for the German forward too late. Okay, France forward Kylian Mbappe, 24, says he will stay at Paris Saint-Germain next season and decide his future in 2024 when his contract is due to expire. Real Madrid say they will announce the signing of Spain striker Joselu, 33, from Espanyol this week and rule out a move for Mbappe this summer. Okay, why not just go for Victor Osimhen? West Ham are preparing their first approach for Fulham's João Palhinha as they see the Portugal midfielder 27 as a potential replacement for Declan Rice, which means these guys are ready to sell. So Arsenal going hard before Manchester United or some other teams come. Okay, Gianluca Scamacca, remember this guy who was doing Shakara for Arsenal at that time? The Arsenal doesn't have a European football. Well, as agreed terms with Roma, with West Ham willing to let the Italy striker 24 leave on loan on a loan to buy deal. Bayern Munich are in advanced negotiation to sign England defender Kyle Walker. Remember, this guy was 27 when he left Tottenham Hotspur. Now he's 33. That is some 6 years after leaving Tottenham Hotspur. He's won 14 titles. Thanks to that man called Pep Guardiola. And one guy called Harry Kane is still in the wilderness of being club legend, waiting for a statue to be molded outside of White Hart Lane to gather dust. No title. Wow. Okay, yes, let me go back over it again. Bayern Munich are in advanced negotiation to sign England defender Kyle Walker, 33, from Manchester City on a permanent deal. Monaco France defender Axel Disasi, fine player, 25, remains a firm target for Manchester United as South Korea defender Kim Min-jae, 26, looks set to join Bayern from Napoli. I thought the Manchester United deal for this player is already a done deal. But you see, that thing that I always say, don't get excited, don't get over the hills when they announce deals like this. Wait until the jersey is raised, the player has been allocated a number, you know, yes, he's a player. Because a lot of Man United fans were so excited, oh, they've gotten Kim Min-jae, Harry Maguire can go. Well, you guys are still stuck on Maguire. Maguire, it's your Maguire. Take your Maguire or Maguire. Okay, former Barcelona and Spain coach Luis Enrique is expected to be the next manager of Paris Saint-Germain. Okay. That one is strong. Monaco's France defender Asad Disasi, 25, remains the firm target for Manchester United as a South Korean defender Kim Min-jae, 26, looks set to join Bayern Munich from Napoli. Chelsea and Morocco winger Hakim Ziyech, I think he scored against South Africa this qualifiers, but it was too late. He's in talks to join Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr this summer with the 30-year-old keen to play with Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo, who is 38. This guy is one player whose age, it seems like his age is running faster. 1 minute, Hakim Ziyech was 25. He's 30. And there are some players that I know that have been on 27 since forever. I don't want to mention any name. Let's not get into fighting position. Just to remain interested in signing Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen on form from Napoli, despite closing in on an agreement with Villarreal to sign Senegal striker Nicolas Jackson, 21. Yes, Newcastle United are set to return their attention to Nice's France midfielder Kefran Thuram, 25, after being frustrated in their pursuit of Inter Milan's Italy midfielder Nicolo Barella, who is 26 years of age. Yes, Newcastle look ready to make a surprise bid for West Bromwich Albion's English goalkeeper Josh Griffith, who is 21. Borussia Dortmund French defender Somalia Koulibaly, 19, is in advanced discussion over a loan move to Burnley. Burnley will switch their side to Antwerp's French goalkeeper Joan Botes, 28, if they miss out on Anderlecht's Dutch stopper Bart Vertonghen, who is 20. Luton Town are interested in signing Moroccan striker Ryan Neme, 25, from Ferencváros of Hungary. Okay, Luton Town are also keen to sign Blackburn Rovers Belgian goalkeeper Thomas Kaminski, who is 30, who is valued at £6 million. Paris Saint-Germain continue negotiations with Real Mallorca over signing South Korean attacking midfielder Lee Kang in 20, who is 22. Okay, Barcelona have agreed to sign Brazil forward Victor Roque. He's 18 years of age from Atletico Paranense on a 5-year deal. These are the kind of deal that Barcelona can afford right now. These guys don't have money anymore. After leaving Barca this summer, ex-Spain midfielder Sergio Busquet, I talked about him earlier on, 34, is close to signing a deal to follow former teammate Lionel Messi to Inter Miami, according to Mundo Deportivo in Spain. Atletico Madrid's France forward Antoine Griezmann, 32, says it is his dream to one day join the Major League Soccer. This is a call for help. Like, this is, hey, please come and get me, come and get me, come and get me. You know, a call to action kind of talk. You are 32. We'll see. It's a World Cup winner, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But what do you guys think of all this gist that I've put on the floor? Let's talk about you guys putting up your story. Let's start with Instagram first. Then it's not going to be about you guys today. I'm not here to say much. 69 Lema, I said, good to have you back. Welcome. Thank you very much. I'll still be running again. I'm supposed to go to a bar. Okupa Musa, that's my big other brother. Fantastic guy. The man who taught me everything I know about the law, arguments, putting the merit of every case. That's the man who taught me all that. He's a senior lawyer. He's very, very, very good on an erudite professional to the court. He's here, celebrate one. Okay, Mr. Sugar, I say finally, you can look for Paul. If you have a case, you need a lawyer to stand for you. You can go and find Paul Musanko. It's on the third floor of engineering building in VI. Okay, Mr. Sugar One. They say lawyers don't do advertising. Well, American lawyers do, British lawyers do. Okay, Mr. Sugar One. Say finally, Elevator is here. Thank you, Baba. I'm planning to run again. See, right now I'm always going to be on the road. Oh, Remy Lekondoni say, oh, show day today. You guys are not serious. You guys are so not serious. Okay, Mr. Sugar want to say the goalkeeper was good yesterday. That second goal from the Sierra Leonean was a nice one. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think so. I think that the guy is good. And people have had like so much talk. Some people say Peter Wanode all the way from the UK side says welcome back, boss. Thank you very much. Chooks 9000 says good morning, bro. Letting Partey and Shaka go in one season and buying rice and beans for over 100 million will be Arsenal's greatest on doing this new season. Are they trying to say that Rice is an upgrade? I think Rice is an upgrade to Thomas Partey and Shaka. That's for sure. Who joins in? I think if they're letting both of them go, they should buy Rice. They should get Moses Casado as well, or they should go to. I don't like the fact that they are going to play in the Champions League and they want to buy players with that Champions League experience. That's just my only worry. So they should go out there to European clubs and look for players, those Portuguese clubs like Benfica and the rest of them, and go get players that have really played in the Champions League. That players have played last season in Champions League or a couple of seasons in Champions League, have Champions League experience. I can come, not players that will be overwhelmed when they go on the Champions League night and they hear that anthem, he's the champion. Like, ooh, first time, that former Chelsea coach, what's his name? Graham Potter Mugu. You don't want to have those kind of player in your team. But hey, let's see how it goes. But I don't think Declan Rice is rice and beans anyway. If you ever did oil and gas business, the word rice and beans sound differently in your ear, okay? For those of you who did not do oil and gas like I did, you will not understand what that means, but it sounds different, okay? Mr. Sugar, I want to say, please, has Spain won the Olympics? No, they have not, but nobody counts that one anyway. Paul Musa 2000, they say Partey is injury prone. How many games does, oh God, Musa, you sabi this thing, you know this thing well. Leave Chooks, make Chooks later the battle your own demons. Okay, how many games does he play in a season? In the final part of last season, his game dropped considerably. Maybe the reason he should go. I'm one of those who've always said he should go anyway. I think that he's seen the better part of life. Okay, and a lot of people think that it's because they beat us to the World Cup. And I was at the center of the action, and I saw Thomas Partey tie Juju voodoo for waist. I can't forget that memory. It's not like I was scared of it, but I was just surprised. Like it's an African thing anyway. So let me not kind of like go against it now. People say, oh, why? If not a white person, would I say anything? Yes, I would. I would have opinion. I'm in a job where I am allowed to have opinion, and I will continuously have opinion. But I think that Granit Xhaka, I've seen better days in football. What I like about what Arteta have done with Granit Xhaka is he's redeemed his image. He's not leaving us now as a bad boy, as the most hated, but he's loved. He can always come back, because that's one of the things you do for I wouldn't call him a club legend, but he's a club steward, a club servant. Okay, he served the club very well. Now, if he had gone, during the Unai Emery days, I'm not sure he'll be able to come back any day or sit in the studio and talk about Arsenal, because there's always going to be the India sign over his head. But currently, what Arteta have done for him is that he can come back anytime and he will be respected, he will be treated, because in football you always remember with your last game or your last season, your last couple of matches, and what he's done with the club is something that everybody would remember for this last one. People forget the days he threw down the captain's armband, threw down the JC, said F you to the fans and all that. People forget all that pretty soon, because if you want to remember that, then that's your own call anyway. I think what he's done for him is good. If you give him another season, I will bet everything that I have, including my company, maybe minus my children and my wife, that is going to go back to that old Xhaka that we will know, pick up a lot of cards, you'll be tired, a lot will go wrong, and you'll be wondering, is it not this guy that just had a very great season last season? So I think it should go. So that's where Declan Rice comes in. For Thomas Partey, I don't think that Moise Caicedo is the guy we need. If we're going to get Thomas Partey, we shouldn't get Moise Caicedo. If we're going to get Moise Caicedo, we shouldn't get Thomas Partey. We shouldn't get Declan Rice, I'm sorry. If we're going to get Declan Rice, we shouldn't get Moise Caicedo. If we get Moise Caicedo, we shouldn't get Declan Rice. I don't think that Arsenal needs to, in the two most important positions on the team, we do not need to get rookies when I say rookies, these guys are not title challengers. They don't even understand what it means to campaign for the title. And then you now put the extra burden of playing, getting to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League, because let nobody sit out there as an Arsenal fan and tell me that, oh, Arsenal is going to the Champions League to go and win it. Please, nigga, please don't come and put that kind of talk in this conversation, because we don't have what it takes to do that in the first place. Whatever we sign, whoever we sign right now, we don't. But the good news for Arsenal is, looking at the franchises of Stan Kroenke. That's if you would look at it from that angle. The Vancouver team won. In the last 2 years, all of the franchises that he owns have won something at least. Denver Nuggets just won the NBA for the very first time. Vancouver won. The Rams won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago or so. So I think it's going to be Arsenal next. And it does, I mean, like I said at the end of last season, a few weeks ago before I went on my trip, that Arsenal is going to win the title next season, but it's contingent on the signings that they make. I'm still holding my breath on that prediction. I'm going to come back and say, no, I've changed my prediction on that, or I'm going to stand on it by saying, yes, Arsenal is going to win it when I see the players that they're putting on the plate. And I'm going to look at what is going to prioritize. But first of the fixtures, the first opening set of fixtures have been very nice. The only 2 difficult teams is going to play Manchester United and Liverpool. And I think that Arsenal will win all the other games. So of the first 7 games that Arsenal are going to play, I think that first they're going to get minimum 15 points out of the first 7, which is not bad. And I'm even daring to say 18 points out of a possible 21 in their first 7. Okay, but let's not make the show about Arsenal. There is a whole lot of other things to talk about. So if you're there, you have something to say, this is the time for you to put it on the plate. Let's have some conversation around that. Divine Toke say great, we're back on YouTube. And Olushaya Olubi just clap his hand. And then Lord Mayor came up and said, welcome back. Thank you very much. Lord Mayor said, congratulations to Nigeria. We are there in Ivory Coast 2024 already. Yeah, thank you very much. Olarawaju, thank you very much for using our logo as your DP. I appreciate that. That's promoting us for free. Really, really appreciate it. Elegote, welcome back from Mandala Mountain Walk. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes, Divine okay say the new Real Madrid trio will be their own kind of players, not the Barcelona trio or present Real Madrid trio. Thank you very much for that. Our only remaining member, Adijala Foma, is said the game against Sierra Leone was very interesting. At times in the game, the team played well, but in most they showed that they did not have the common goal. Dele was calm and composed. His distribution was fine. Not Mayor, he said our star boy is really on course to be the African Player of the Year since Kanu, top scorer in the AFCON qualifiers, top scorer in Serie A. He deserves it. I think so too. Lord Mayor, he said the keeper is decent. I have confidence in him. Oduni Rameleko, he say, I don't know wetin I see for Kayo. He vex me. Well, no matter how you vex Rich, it's like they've made up their mind that that's the guy that they're going for. You got to endure with them and be patient. Okay, Additional came up and said Chelsea is really showing their unseriousness. I have nothing to say about Chelsea. Arsenal need men in the team. They should focus on getting like 3 mentality monsters. Okay, I always hear that word these days, mentality monsters. I don't know what it means in football. In my days of playing football, we never had that. Probably is a new thing for the Gen Z. I'm learning how Gen Z think from some of my staff and my daughter. She's always teaching me slangs, Gen Z slangs, and some of these things. But we'll get going, and we'll get going as the day progresses in life. You have to first of all learn, teach, and then you start learning again. And that's exactly where I am right now. I'm 45, so I'm learning again. I'm learning some of the things that I don't know, some of the things that the new generations are doing. But mentality monsters in football, I don't know what that means anyway. But let's just keep it going. Okay, Divine Tokai say, banter aside, I think Chelsea may regret selling Kai, especially selling him to Arsenal, depending on how Arsenal chooses to use him. Okay, if you say so. Lockmayer says Atenta really wants him, okay. I think he wants to play him in that Bernardo Silva role in the midfield. Okay. Lord Mayor said, boss, the Osimhen transfer look kind of quiet now. Most clubs are just looking for alternative. The transfer window has just opened. Don't worry. When the time comes, we will see. where he go, but I think he would leave Chelsea at the end of the season. If he does at the start of next season, but if he doesn't, well, he stays with. He will leave Napoli. Sorry, if he doesn't, well, he stays there. But I hear that Chelsea are coming up strong with a plan B. But Chelsea, whoever takes Chelsea serious, does that at their own peril. Odin Ramalaka say Arsenal wants to offload Pepe and still bring in his twin. Who is Pepe? Does not have a twin. Pepe is the worst ever player in the world. In short, Alex Iwobi better than Pepe. Samuel Chukwueze better than Pepe. Moses Simon better than Pepe. There's nobody on the same page with him. That guy is the worst player ever in football history. 72 million. That was a fraud that was done on Arsenal by whoever got involved in that transfer. But that's a conversation for another day. Divine Tokyo say, remember John Mikelobi lifting up a Manchester United, but still went ahead to sign and play for Chelsea. It's never over until he's playing on the pitch. No, that's a one-off. And if you want to judge it by that, he signed for Manchester United officially. And then he also transferred from Manchester United to Chelsea. So that's something you should understand, because Chelsea paid the transfer fee for him to move. And then again, it was, because when we talk about the Mikel D, we kind of like talk about it from the nice angle. Mikel and his team, let's be very honest, if we're going to speak truth the way it is and forget whether it is our own, Mikel and his team defrauded the entire football world, because Mikel Obi showed up on a podcast and this was his words. He said that it was Chelsea that took him from Nigeria when he was 16. It was Chelsea that put him in a school in Norway. It was Chelsea that put him in the team that was playing for Linoslo in Norway. So what was he going to sign for Manchester United in the first place if he knew that it was Chelsea that was funding him and taking care of him? So for me, if you want to call it spade, because if that was done by a Ghanaian player or another player from another part of the world, we will analyze it holistically. It was Mikel Obi that put a fraud around people, but we're not talking about Mikel Obi today. Let's just move on. Divide okay, says Chelsea signed Nicolas. Chelsea signed Nicolas would hamper them signing Osimhen because of AFCON next year. Is that what they told you? The last time I checked, Michael Essien and DJ Drogba, Solomon Kalou, and the rest, they played for Chelsea at the same time. He did what hamper did he hamper? A Christmas hamper. What's it called? The Lara, what you say? Luis Enrique to PSG sounds interesting. I think I like to see him there, but it's not just about him going there. Would they allow him to sign the players that they like? Because a club like Paris Saint-Germain, my problem with Paris Saint-Germain is the owners and the directors want to do all the signings and force players on you and tell you, okay, we've given you what it takes to coach. Just go there and do the coaching. It doesn't always work like that, okay? What's working with Pep Guardiola at Man City is the fact that Pep Guardiola comes up and say, I need this type of player, go get it for me. And then the management goes out there and try to get him. So that's also something that they should look at, because it's not just about getting Luis Enrique, but also about making sure they get in the kind of players that would fit his style of play. These are Luis Enrique, Pep Guardiola. Some of these coaches are Rolls-Royce coaches. They have certain type of players that make their game work. If you don't give them those type of players, you're just wasting their time. Carlo Ancelotti and the like. So until the Paris Saint-Germain hierarchy are willing to provide him the kind of players that he needs, I'm not going to get excited with the signing yet. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see. The Lions say, Kai, make Arsenal no go for Harvard to he not even reach any grade, not to talk of upgrade or no not. I don't understand that, child. If they really want to win the league or something, I think they should do better. So, let me play the devil's advocate here, right? I think that Kai Havertz practically might just be a need in terms of bodies in the squad, not really a starter, a super starter. You know that Arsenal already have a front trio of Gabriel Jesus, or 4 players, a quartet in the front of Trossard, Martinelli, whose birthday was yesterday, and then Happy Father's Day to all the fathers yesterday as well. Trossard, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus. Those 4, and I'm systematically ignoring Nketiah now, are players who can run, who can move, who can interchange position. And there's going to come a time where Martin Odegaard might just be slowing down. you will need a Kahava to play behind the striker to help slot in those balls into pocket of spaces for the runners to just put in the net. So it just might be useful. My question is he willing to come at such a high price, maybe 50 million or so, and to come just become a squad member? That's the only thing that I am asking. Instead, Arsenal should get players in position of need. Right full back, Arsenal needs a player. We've been using a centre back as a cover. That's why when Saliba got injured, Arsenal couldn't find a replacement, because his perfect replacement was Ben White, but Ben White was covering for Tomiyasu. So they should fix the right full back. Also, if they want to set Tierney, they should let him go now and get a replacement for him. And then that whole midfield, I agree completely that Xhaka and Thomas Partey should be thrown out of the team and let go. Also, the one that Burnley is looking to sign, what's his name? Awilo Lokomba. They should also let him go. Okay, there's no big deal to it. Let him go, because it doesn't look like he's going to mature into that team. Arsenal might regret later, seeing him performing very, very well. But then they should let him go, because that would happen to every club. It's not just an Arsenal team; it happens everywhere. Let him go, and then free up one salaries. Free up. I felt bad that the contract of Reece Nelson was renewed. I don't think Reece Nelson is those players like Theo Walcott. They give you one good game and then goes for 10, 15 games, just being average, not being consistent. And then again, he shows up again and give you another good game. And then again, you go another 10 game and give you another good game. That's not the kind of player that you need if you want to win championship. If you want to be on top, you need your players to always turn up and do well. Look at Ike Gundogan. Doesn't play regularly, but every time he plays, is delivering. Kyle Walker, Mahrez, all these players at Man City. That's why Man City are the dominant force that they are. You can't have a player play so well against Brighton and then shows up against some other teams and look like a Lilliputian team, look like Tomatoes way Sondon beat over for my 12 market. You don't want to have that. And I thought that they had a very good opportunity as his contract was running out to say, thank you very much. We appreciate you. The same thing they did to Ashley Maitland-Niles and just let him go. But unfortunately, they decide that they want to renew for him. Well, let's see how things go anyway. The line just said not necessarily very expensive players, but they should do better scouting and not just run around big names that nowhere near big. Okay. The line said Portugal, Holland, and Germany are good places for Arsenal to scout players. Even Croatia, Serbia, those places where you go get some skillful players who not, I don't say go and buy Osupa Said, go and buy Said Kolasinac, bodyguard, saying a footballer, somebody that's supposed to be working as a bodyguard in the nightclub. Arsenal go sign a con. Or go and bring in a Cedric Suarez, that one is supposed to be prop manager at a movie set. Go and bring him and say you should come and play football. That's not the kind of player that I'm talking about. But I'm talking go get some very skillful players from those Serbian countries, those, Balkan region, and bring them into the team. They will fight. They will try to make a name for themselves. They want to prove a point. They've got something in there. Now these expensive Central European players who you just look because they are popular. No. But hey, it is what it is. Divine Toke say, is John Mikel Obi Chelsea FC legend or servant? This question a trick question. This is a trick question, Chad. But I think it's a Chelsea legend. Yeah, I think he's a Chelsea legend and a Chelsea servant because he belonged to the generation, the most successful generation. And if you can call Dennis Wise, for instance, a Chelsea legend, if you can call Roberto Di Matteo a Chelsea legend, I do not see why Mikel Obi cannot be a Chelsea legend, because if you look at the number of games that he played, I think he's a Chelsea legend. The thing about Mikel Obi, and this is one argument. Last night we were having this conversation. Somebody said the comment I made on Omar Katuba's post that Alex Iwobi knows how to play ball, that is unfair. And I said, okay, good. Let's try and be fair a bit. Because me, I like to listen to the other side. I don't know it all. And I said, let's line up all the Nigerian midfielder from 1980 to now, and that plays in the position that Alex Iwobi plays. It should point to one for me that Alex Iwobi is better than. It couldn't. And this is a stretch. We added Friday Ekpo, Demelao, Mudalawa, Aruna Ilerika, just to name them, Olia, Edema Fuludu. I was naming all these midfielders, okay? Austin Jejo, Kocha, naming all of them, Mikel Obi. I said, name one that Alex Iwobi is better than. He said, well, I don't think Alex Iwobi is better than anyone. I said, so if Alex Iwobi is not better than anyone, why do you guys always get angry when I say the boy must have a play ball? Okay, he was Everton's best player. Everton freaking almost got relegated. They are just like FC Taraba. There's no big deal about that one. Okay. How many of you know the player of the season for Enugu Rangers? You don't know them. You know why? Even though they're in the FA Cup finals, because they had a poor season. Why are we talking about a player who played for a club that had a poor season? And people get angry, you know, and I quite understand that people can get angry, people can get sentimental. You know why? Because we just love this boy. Okay. But the fact that I say that does not mean I hate him. It's not a hate thing. It's not a beef thing. It's just that when I ask questions and you guys are not able to give me the answers, and I'm asking those questions with a very open mind. Okay, show me a midfielder that is better than. You can't. It's just like the Moses Simon conversation. Oh, Duffy, you don't like Moses? No, I like him. We see each other, we greet each other, and he knows. Okay, but I'm saying of all the people that are played on that left side, show me one player that he is better than. And everybody goes back, you know me, the times have changed. No, it's not something like times have changed. We have had strikers play for the Super Eagles. We had Rashidi Yakini, Kenneth Saigbo, Peter Ije, Amokachi Samson Siasia, Richard Owobokiri, Michael Biku. And this is me also naming French players now. We've had Emenike and the rest of them. You can confidently say of the lot, Victor Osimhen is better than XYZ in that team, in the Super Eagles, and even at club level, right? First Nigeria to win highest goal scorer award in any of the top 5 league in the world. So you could put him there. I said put Alex Iwobi in this conversation, and the smoke will not come down, okay? Which is not really good, okay? So sometimes when people say things, let's not respond to everything with the you are beefing him. I don't have to beef him. First off, we'll not be mates. I don't need him. He doesn't need me. We will not, not take my babe. I not get babe when he wants to take. I don't understand why people think that once you have an opinion. And I'm asking, now so them Stephen A. Smith, they do their job, or their Shannon and the rest of them, so that they do their job. If we just get small opinion, I will say with the beef. What's the beef? Now, must everything be about beef? Because in Nigeria, once you just get opinion against somebody will be fans' favorite, oh, you are beefing. I don't see that as beef anyway. But let's get back to the conversation that we're having, and let me take all the comments. I know that Nuri will force us to try and buy Vlahovic. We're not buying. Keep your player to yourself. Okay, the Larry party can go, though I don't think it can be better anymore for Arsenal. I agree with you on that one as well. Okay, Ademola Adeshina David. There used to be one Ademola Adeshina that played for Nigeria. Okay, he said, thought on Super Eagles and Jose Peseiro with his shambles, tactics, and lack of coordination. You'd already give your thought. There is nothing I have to say. This is already a biased question. You've already given the answer. If I give you an opposite response to this thing now, you've already set the tone. You want to god me into a god and cut my head. I don't think so. First off, let me tell you, I don't think that Jose Peseiro is a bad coach. This is my opinion. And as much as I respect your opinion, I hope that you respect. I don't think Jose Peseiro is a bad coach. I also don't think that the Nigerian team is as good as a lot of you lot out there say it is. Now let's remember, I've sat here, told you guys that Super Eagles no they half as good as Onate say they be when Genetro was the coach. And I sat here and I told you, all of you that were calling sack Genetro, anybody. I remember some people said that even their grandmother would coach Super Eagles to win the World Cup. That anybody, other than Yomi, I never see them again. That Super Eagles, anybody can coach them and achieve blah, 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 blah. I said, if they sack Super Eagles, we will not qualify for the World Cup. You know, we went to the Nations Cup and got knocked out the round of 16. We sacked Genetro. We went to the Nations Cup and got knocked out the round of 16. Because of the shame, you know, it was like those people were saying Golo Jonathan should go, anybody is better than Golo Jonathan until they give them Buhari. They are still suffering the effect of Buhari today. You know, and I said, if you let this Genetro go, because this guy is managing a dead team. This team only have like 2 or 3 good players. The rest are shit. But on our team, the Super Eagles have world-class players. The team is filled with superstars. The team will beat anybody. The team should be #1 in Africa. I just say, look, Una. Eventually, the same Genetro that won bronze at the Nations Cup that you said was not good enough, that same Super Eagles went on to get knocked out in the round of 16. That same Super Eagles couldn't beat the worst Ghana team that we've ever seen in the history of Ghana football. Remember, Ghana is way, way better than Nigeria in a lot of years previously. But this time that we didn't qualify for the Qatar World Cup, that Ghana team was shit, but we still couldn't qualify over them. Okay? Now, again, we have Pesero, who we've not paid for like a year. And we have a team that have, okay, maybe Victor Osimhen is the only quality in that team. The rest of the players are average. We just have two players, Iheanacho and Kelechi and Wilfred Ndidi, that got relegated with their team in England. We have Joe Aribo, who have not played football since forever for Southampton, who also got relegated. We have Taiwo Awoniyi, who survived relegation, and then the other French players, Akpogoma, that is as stiff as a robot. Kenneth Omera, my very good friend who plays in the lower division. Just name them. We have Adele Yena, who is an upcoming goalkeeper. We don't even have a goalkeeper, but the very first time the coach is coaching a team that doesn't have a stable goalkeeper. Every week he's going to have a new goalkeeper. And people say his tactics are not good. Wait a minute. This guy, of all the teams in the qualifiers, his team scored the highest goal in a single game against Saturno and Principe. Before you people say that's a walkover team, every other team that I've played against them, I've not been able to score more than 2 goals against them. So that doesn't really tell the story of what you guys are narrating. Of all the games that they played 5 games, lost only one, won 4. And yet, somehow, when I say the tactics is no good, you people that are talking about tactics and that is symbolic and all this, please, can you actually manage this team under the circumstances that he is? Last time in Abuja, this team was training without lights in the night. They were using their phones as light to train. You guys will not say anything about it. And you think it doesn't mean. That pitch that they played that game yesterday, if you play on that pitch, you understand the only good thing that happened in that game in Liberia was the fact that the sun was not shining, so it was easy. The rubbers on that AstroTurf were too much. And you can see every time the ball bounces or every time you run, you see that crumbs flying. You don't know how much of a disadvantage that can be for a football team. But hey, we always like to criticize. Sometimes I thought that fans are supposed to get behind their team. But every coach that have come in, if it is Olise is a problem. Sam Successors is a problem. Gunnar Troy is a problem. Iguavon Sabi coach is old school. Now it's Joseph Pesero. Nigerians, who una really want? You sack this guy now, you bring in another coach a few months to the AFCON, and then we go again and get knocked out in the round of 16. And then we start the process again. Una need to tire. You need to tire una. Arsenal trusted the process for 3.5 seasons to get to where they are getting to. Why can't you trust the process with this coach? This is his first year in the team. And competitively, he's lost only 1 game. I mean, you want to count friendly matches as defeat too. And that's shit as far as I'm concerned. So before you come up with is shambolic, is this, is that, please look at the squad that you gave him and look at the team that you put together and tell me if you really, really think that Demola Additional, you are the one I'm talking to, if you really, really think that Joseph Pesero is a bad coach. Okay? Again, if you want Joseph Pesero to go, let's even play the devil's advocate. You want Joseph Pesero to go, please name the coach that you think will take over from Joseph Pesero and what you think will be good price for the coach to earn. And if you think that this NFF have the money to pay, okay? That things you don't know anyway. I'm not even going to go into that, how, they managed to stay in a hotel, the people who rally around to raise money, Emefiele and co. Emefiele might be, my number one most hated guy right now in Nigeria, but he did very good to help this team to camp in Lagos. We must also mention that, when we talk about the bad of people, we should also talk about the good things that they've done and the role that people like Amajo and the rest of them play. But that's a topic for another day. You want this coach gone. Who's the next coach that you're inviting, that you're asking? Please check his current salary and ask yourself, can the Nigerian national team pay? I remember Gunnar Troy, I interviewed him here, and this is one of the things he said. He said Nigerians want a team that will play hoo-ha football, excite everybody, but then at the end of the day, not get results. But for him, he is more concerned about results because the players that Nigerians think they have, unfortunately, Nigerians don't have those players. That when you look at the clubs that Nigerian players are playing and compared to the players that Nigeria used to have and the clubs that they used to play, then you would understand that we really don't have what we think we have, okay? Our players are struggling. Just maybe 1 or 2 are playing top flight football. The rest are struggling whatever club that they're playing, whatever league that they're playing. And if you don't agree with me, well, you would have to suggest a new coach that will come take over. Let's go on. The Olara just says Casado to Chelsea. Here, Arsenal go again. Chase, and then another club comes to pick up the player. Nurin Turin says Chelsea should do us a solid, maybe he wants to say favor, and take Vlahovic. Nigeria and difficulty holding on to Leeds. Osimhen is doing quite well overall. Good to see him again. The Lara went on to say just that they will collect the best amongst them and then leave the rotten ones for Arsenal to pick from the remnant. Okay, well, if you say so. Martin Odegaard was not a rotten one. Let's look at some of the players that Arsenal have signed. I don't think players, there is any such thing as rotten players. What I just think is that players fit a style or a pattern that the coach wants, okay? And sometimes buying a player for the biggest money does not necessarily mean that that player is going to be good. Mikhailo Modric is a very good example. Bernard Mendy, who became a victim of rape case, is also another good example. And it's taking Jack Grealish forever to really live up to the expectation. So it's not necessarily that. I think that you could get certain players at very low. Ben White is one. Aaron Ramsey is another. And Stevie Able, William Saliba is another good case for that argument. And then you look at Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus if you take away the injuries, or probably players like Martinelli, who was rejected at Manchester United and turned out to be this player that he is now. Arsenal doesn't necessarily mean you need to spend big money. The thing is, I think that this is my only problem with Arsenal's search. I think that Arsenal is narrowing their search too much, and that's not good for me. My opinion, I might be wrong anyway. Vladimir, he said, is Ruben Neves not too young to go to Saudi Arabia? Well, it's not too young to earn big money as well, okay? Because Portugal is one African country in Europe, so they also have the same family demand that we have. Nwatorini said, I think that dude in the midfield for Southampton, Lavia also would be a good addition to a top 6 team next season. Well, they got relegated. Those type of high players, it's like when people say Arsenal should go and buy Iberichese, and I was like, man, we've seen this before. Haven't we been here before? We've seen this before. That's how Manchester United want to go and sign Zaha. Some players will be very, very good playing in a lower team, lesser pressure, lesser expectation. Once they get to that place where you have pressure cooker, it's like you see those people who argue in front of newspaper. Oh God, they know sports, they know all the statistics, they know all the data. Bring them to the studio, they start stuttering. You see, some players can't play in an organized structure where there is pressure. They play in teams that are battling relegation and they are Lord of the Ring. You remember Rafinha when he was playing for Leeds United? It was a terror to everybody. Well, he went to Barcelona. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay, so sometimes you have to factor all of these things into the conversation before you conclude. I'm not really big on him. I like players that are tried and tested, that are proven at a very high level, because once Arsenal is going to play the Champions League. You don't want a player who you're giving Champions League debut. Rather do that. I mean, you're not going to go give a Lavia Champions League debut and he's looking for jersey that he will take home to go and show to his family members. No. You know what, players that have been there, that understand what the Champions League night is, especially for a team that have been away from Champions League for like 7-8 years. If they are coming back in, they should come back in with a stamp of authority that we've been here before, we've been to the finals, even though we didn't win it, we know how to play in this competition. That's my thought anyway, but hey, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Eze Patrick finally got here. He said, if Pinto was a legend, then Mikel is a demigod at Chelsea. Eze Patrick says, over a long playing career, who was better, Thierry Henry and Samuel Eto'o? I don't know. So Samuel Eto'o is Africa's all-time best player. That's how I rate him, right? But the question have a caveat to it. Over a long playing career, Samuel Eto'o have 2 Champions League titles. He won the treble with Thierry Henry. But this is where Thierry Henry edges Samuel Eto'o. Yes, Samuel Eto'o won the Olympics in 2000. I won't forget that. But Thierry Henry won the Euros. We're not going to pretend like he didn't win it. Thierry Henry won the World Cup. We're not going to pretend. Thierry Henry won the Premier League just the same way Samuel Eto'o won the La Liga, won the Italian League as well. I think I'm going to pick Thierry Henry over Samuel Eto'o here, but it is marginal. It's not like, oh, Thierry Henry play more pass Samuel Eto'o. No, it's very, very marginal. But you know how you can see these two can sit at the very top and be comfortable. But I'm gonna pick Thierry Henry, to edge it a little bit because that World Cup, come on. Remember how Messi had won everything and everybody said if he doesn't win the World Cup, his legacy is stained. Right, that World Cup, that's how big the World Cup is because it's an exclusive club, right? So I'm going to put Thierry Henry there because of the World Cup that he won. That's all. And remember, it was also in that team again that went on the way to the finals and they lost a penalty, if my memory serves me right. So I'm going to pick Thierry Henry over Samuel Eto'o. But that question is not as easy as I'm making it sound. Let's be very, very honest. It's a tough one. Leo Ode says, Buongiorno, how's my brother doing in Italy? I'm working on coming to Italy again for Viraggio Cup next year. But I might be going to Germany this year for the Bayern Youth Cup. Let's see, Otis Biniqual. I don't know. Let's just keep our fingers crossed now. Nothing is given yet. Boss is bien. It's been a while. Always nice to watch your show. Nice one from Super Eagles and for my Esan brother. Wishing all the best in the transfer window. May Almighty God continue to bless you. Thank you very much, Leode. I appreciate that one. And we're getting close to the end of the show now. I just got less than 5 minutes to do whatever it is we need to do. And I'll try my best. Try my best to read all the remaining, remaining messages as best as I can. Okay, so that we can have, where did I stop? Leode. Okay. Pest Mobile with Dave PMWD bracket. What do you think about the outcry from rivals fans against Chelsea after the Mendy, Koulibaly, Ziyech moved to Saudi Arabia? I don't think that. First of the fans that are complaining, I don't think they have the right to complain. The club is going through an evolution. Remember when Roman Abramovich bought the club about 20 years ago? And, the last player to leave before Roman Abramovich bought that club was Gianfranco Zola. Okay, his contract ended and he moved on. And then Roman bought the club, and I remember he did everything to bring him back, but because he was a guy that he saw and he wanted the best now. Okay, so he bought Chelsea. And they started filtering out players, and people were like, oh, the club is going to go on relegation. Well, they went on to become one of the best clubs, top 4 best clubs in Europe in that 19 years period, alongside Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona. So I think that Americans are naturally long-term people. They are not come now, snatch and grab kind of people. Look at us now. Americans are long-term people. Look at the Glazers, even though the Glazers, their own is more like they're 419 people. Okay, so I think that they are doing something. And one of the things that people don't understand, have you noticed that poor people like to teach rich people how to spend their money? A lot. Poor people like to teach rich people how to spend their money. Fans seem to think that they know more. But if you know more, use that your wisdom to go and make money and buy a club or set up a club and see how difficult it is to run it. Okay, so I think that as much as people want to banter Chelsea, and I've said it before and I'm still going to say it again, that's why if you notice, I can't banter Chelsea, not just because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think that the club that have been so successful in last 19 years deserve every right to even go 5 seasons with a struggle and then reform, refine, rediscover themselves and come back. I think it is fair. So all the complaint that people are having, some of the players that are leaving Chelsea are players that are not adding value anymore. So if they leave, it is good for Chelsea. Chelsea cannot look inward and say, okay, let's set the structures right, and then bring in the players that are going to come in. And one of the things I told a friend of mine who is a Chelsea fan, I said, you see, the problem that Man United had was the same problem. History always repeats itself in football. The same problem that Liverpool had. When Liverpool lost that title to Arsenal in 1989, and every manager that came in from Gerard Olia to Phil Jackson to Rafa Benitez, they are always comparing them to Kenny Douglas and the rest of them. Every time these managers come in and they try to do something of their own, they always compare them and then compare the players to John Barnes, McManaman, and Rush and the rest of them. And they don't stay well. It doesn't work well. It didn't work well for Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen when he got injured, and he was of all the players. Bottom line, Manchester United also had the same issue. Once Alex Ferguson leaves, every other person came in. You want to measure the manager with Alex Ferguson, and you want to measure the players with the class of 92, and all those lies that people were fed that Alex Ferguson won the Premier League with young players is a lie. We all know it's a lie. We can't win a Premiership with young players when you have Dennis Irwin, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Paul Furlong, you know, Pascals. No, not even Pascal. Pascal, okay. Paul is and all those and Nico and the rest of that. You say you won the Premier League with young players. It's a lie, right? But people get told stories that you know this is what happened. And every time a manager comes in, whether it's Moyes, whether it's Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Eric Ten Hag, they always want to measure by Sir Alex Ferguson's success. Same thing they tried to do with Arsene Wenger's history against Unai Emery and the rest of it. I think every club deserves to go into the egg, lava, pupa, and butterfly stage every time you have to reform. Even the eagle sheds its wings sometimes and regrow them again. And Chelsea, I think Chelsea is in that stage of shedding his wings. Even the snake, you know, shed his skin and regenerates again. Chelsea are in that process, and I don't think for banter boys they will always banter, but I don't think it is right. I think that Chelsea should be allowed to go through this process and go. It's just that last season in the transfer, let's be very honest, the last two transfer windows spending 601 million. Todd Boehly made so many mistakes. The signings, the negotiations, the whole deals that they were making were not good. But having said that, I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I said before, I'm willing to give Chelsea another 2 or 3 seasons. Chooks_EAC, what's your take on the possible sale of Partey, Tierney, and Harvard acquisition? I think I've said that. I've spoken on that already. It is good for us now. I'm not really a fan of Kai Havertz anyway, but if they want him, then they must have thought about something that they want for him. But Thomas Partey and Tierney going, I think it's good. Tierney is too injury prone, so as Thomas Partey, and he will be missing in some key game, and they will start making excuses. Oh, we lost because Thomas Partey was not there. No, let's get players that will be there. If we win, we win. We lose, we lose. As a Patrick say, pitches they have played on terrible. Okay, and he went on to say, I beg, keep Pesero, I beg. Let's have a coach for Nations Cup and World Cup for once in a long time. I beg. We not be Chelsea. Chelsea strike banter again. As the bank says, seems like we are still owing Raw. Yeah, we're owing himself. Owing a whole lot of current and ex-internationals as well. I don't think we're owing any ex-internationals. Noah Torre, just curious, did you watch Paglioli at all last season? Is a young midfielder at Juventus. Yes, I did. He's got talent, but I don't think Juventus will sell him. I don't think Juventus is in the habit of letting such kind of players go, because I think the team is reshaping. Those are the kind of players that they want to keep for a long time. He's a fantastic player, very good one. I don't think they will sell him. So that's not the kind of player you want to go and look at. If you go, they'll slap like 250 million on him and you can't buy. Divine Toke say, I love how Osimhen keeps improving. I would love to see him with Mauricio Pochettino just to see what can come out of it. If he can do what he did with Kane, with Osimhen as well. So Osimhen is your lab rat, okay? Another additional, David say, I'm of the opinion that these player selections are skewed. Fine, we lack talent, but it's not making best use of the players available. He can do more in terms of players invited, especially in midfield. Please name 3 players that were invited and not supposed to be invited, and name the players that they are supposed to invite to that midfield that are available to the team right now. Olamatu says, happy to be back here after a long break. Yes, Lamire says, Osimhen is the next African Footballer of the Year. I agree with you. Oluwaseyi Olubi says, we had a very good spell under Gunnar result-wise, but Nigerians wanted beautiful football. You are right. Fans hype our players too much. Our wingers can't even cross to save their life. I agree with you. And Alamatis went on to say, the NFF should allow Jose Pesero continue with the Super Eagles. Things will get better on the long run. Lord Mayor, people will praise Haaland that he scored 53 goals so far in all competition. Osimhen has scored 48 goals in all competition, including both country football. Same with Haaland. Yes, but people also praise Osimhen. The thing that I don't want is, if you want to praise Osimhen for Osimhen. Don't praise Osimhen and make it look like, oh, Haaland didn't do anything. Haaland did something. And that's the reason why he is now the contender for the Ballon d'Or alongside Lionel Messi. So if you want to play, there's this thing I always say that we should not run advertising. Most times when I want to buy a product, I don't like a product that is selling on the back of trying to run another product down. I don't patronize this kind of product. That's why I don't understand politics. I always say that a politician that comes to tell me everything bad about my opponent. Also, that's why I struggle about religion. In religion, especially in Christianity, they will tell you everything that the devil is about and forget to tell you about God. That's why I say that God is good, but the marketers are bad. And so people, it's the same thing you're doing here. Tell me, Osimhen scored 48 goals in all competitions. He's awesome. He's had a great season. He won the league title. He won the highest goal scorer award. He was a guy. And then add the fact that he got injured, his eye fall off the socket. He's got about 19 or so, 22 screws actually altogether, because it was 18 years. There's 1 year, that's 19, and then another 3 years, that's 22 screws on his face, and wears a mask, and you could sell him without dragging Haaland into it. But if you try to diminish Haaland, and this is what killed Eden Hazard, when they tried to diminish Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, I was still in Brazil at the time, that he's now better than Messi and Ronaldo. They shouldn't even compare Alexis Sanchez with him. And this rat, we know I play ball. This one. First of all, is it not travesty to mention Eden Hazard in the same sentence with those two? But hey, we've seen how it ended. So I don't think it is the right thing to do. I'm not trying to tell you how you should look at players, but I don't think it is the right thing to do to destroy one player who has done well. I'm not talking of the one that have not done well. Destroy one player who has done well for another player because another player is yours. Let's reverse the table. Let's say you are Norwegian. Would you speak like this? You wouldn't even remember if Osimhen has scored 48 goals. So the thing is, the hype on Haaland is worth it. There's nobody who's done these numbers before in the Premier League. Everybody said if he comes to the Premier League, he won't do this. He's done better than he's done anywhere else. So that's something to be very, very appreciative of. They said Pep Guardiola's style does not suit a top 9. If he comes in, they won't win the treble. They just won the treble. And, as good as all the things that Osimhen have done, we cannot take away the credit and the merits of what Haaland have done this season. That's my own position on things. You can't disagree anyway, but I think we can celebrate Osimhen and still respect Haaland for what he's achieved this season. It's not easy. It's not an overnight. It's not something you just go to ShopRite and buy. He won the treble. He won the highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Come on, this is his first season. Some people are still trying to settle in. So he plays in a team with a player. He puts a player who won the World Cup on the bench in his team. So there's a whole lot of conversation about Haaland. I just really don't like to sit where I am and bring Haaland down. Anyway, whatever it is, we've done the show today, and I think I had fun. I enjoyed it. Just that the lights were shaky, so I couldn't run my AC the way I wanted it to, and I'm sweat very, very much. Okay, but it's been nice. I think I've read every message. Thank you, everybody who joined in on YouTube, on Instagram, and everywhere. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do want to subscribe. What we're doing here covers the Nigerian League, grassroots, a whole lot of content that we want to do, and so many people that we also plan to interview, but we can't because our numbers are not as good as we expect. Please help us subscribe. Tell your friends to come subscribe to the channel. Am I here to stay permanently? No, I'm always going to be traveling. There's going to be plenty of traveling. I'm doing a whole lot for the league. I'm trying to put the league in a place where you people will love the league better than you love it right now, where people can be going to the stadium, where people can be following it online, people can be discussing about the league. I am saddled with that responsibility. Nobody employed me to do it. So let me say it upfront. This is me saying, for the love of country, I'm going to do something that my children will be proud of in the future. Okay, so if you want to support me, feel free to support. But if you don't want to support that, it's okay. But the best support you can give me is to get more subscribers to the channel. And that would be very, very encouraging. If I wake up and I see that all of a sudden we have 1 million subscribers on this channel, that would be the greatest gift anybody will give to me. Having said that, thank you so much for everybody who's been there with us, who's been part of our journey and our story and everything that we do. God bless you. And Peter, I wanted on Instagram say God is good, but the marketers are bad. Absolutely. God have terrible marketers. If you go to church, you will hear more about what the devil have done than what God have done. And I'm like, what's wrong with these people? How can you be casting and binding every day? You can't cast and bind somebody that cannot be cast and bind. Nobody can cast and bind the devil. It's simple. Even God could not cast and bind him when he had to kill his son. Just think about it for a minute. There's so much lack of common sense in Christianity, but that's another topic for another day. Let's move on, please. Do well to subscribe, and we'll see how it goes. My name is Edafe Manchester. You love to come in the logo to sports. Tomorrow is another day. Let's do it again. Bye-bye, and have yourself a wonderful day. Yeah, I've had a good show as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you guys, but if you've not had a good show,